This computer. Cool. So we're recording. Cool. Welcome back, guys, to episode 4 of Monsters of the Mic. It has been a while, but I think the really cool thing I think we're excited to talk about is the offseason the Bears have had, which has been an exciting one to say the least for me. Um,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know about you, right? Like some of those moves caught me by surprise, honestly.
Oh yeah. There, I know we have a couple of things to talk about. Do you want to start, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, yeah. Well, before I think we do that,
Uh,
let's just start on the other sports teams that have started this season, right? Being the Cubs and Sox.
mm,
Um, so I think, right, obviously, right, like everyone's like, well, the Cubs season started, 2 weeks, a week ago or 2 weeks ago when they played in Japan, sure. But I think, now that baseball's in full swing of things, I think, I voiced this again, even though I know they just swept the Athletics. I mean, it's the Athletics. They're the word.
bullpen.
They ran, they bulldozed it up, right? And rightfully so. But that team is complete trash. No offense to any athletic fans out there. Like that, your team is very bad. But like that, the one game that really pissed me off. I know it was one game sample size, but letting up 8 runs against the Diamondbacks. Just once again, just proves my point of same shit, different year. Like, cool, we're scoring runs at a bunch, awesome, but against playoff caliber teams,
It
it's
might
never.
not work out that way. Yeah.
Yes,
I think
yes,
I agree with you. I think the bullpen really struggled in that Sunday game against the Diamondbacks. But I think like that's not maybe maybe an option to open up sometime in the middle of the season, before the
sure,
trade deadline. Maybe we could get a closer. Um,
sure, sure.
but Presley hasn't necessarily lost us any games so far, so
No,
maybe
I agree on that aspect. And since we're speaking on pitching, right? Something else is just he was my guy, and I know I got to give him a little bit more sample size because of his injury. But dude, Justin Seals has been getting blown up this season so far. It's just like, what
yeah,
is
he
going
doesn't look good.
on? Yeah, it's frustrating.
That's so weird, dude. Um, I I think as far as pitching goes, yeah, you're right. Justin Steele's been struggling. Imanaga kind of picked up where he left off.
Yeah,
Um, Still, he's probably our 1A right now until Steele could get it together. But Tyone's been really solid too, in my opinion.
yeah,
He,
he pitched really well today. You know what I mean? I mean, it's one good
it's
game. Go ahead.
no, like that's kind of what we need him for, for the middle of the week, that Wednesday game, just to get us through. Like, just get us some solid pitching and let your hitters do the work.
I,
Like that's
and I agree with you, right? And the one thing is, I look at quality starts, right? And I think it's about nowadays, I don't even know, like 5, 6 innings nowadays for a pitcher, right? Like only Imanaga and Tyone
mm,
have those, quality starts. The rest of our starting rotation have it, right? And the reason why I'm saying that, right, is, and I know, the Cubs have a 5-4 record, so I shouldn't be complaining coming home, right, to their first homestead.
Debbie Downer.
Right, right, I know. But the White Sox pitching staff that first week, their entire starting rotation just was absolutely dominant. Like I have no expectations for the White Sox because obviously I'm a Cubs fan, but at the same time, like I think they have a low ball on projection of wins this year. I think they're going to be a lot better team and more competitive than they were last year. I think, but what was up with that bullpen? I mean, the starting rotation, like they came out of nowhere and just dominated for an entire week. Granted, right? Baseball always, you're always gonna, what's the word? What's the phrase? Like regress back to the mean in baseball. Like it's always going to happen. But that was
hmm
really impressive. I was really impressive by that White Sox kind of pitching staff that kind of just go out there and, you know,
Do you think that was a high peak for the White Sox, or was that like, do you think that's just them getting started kind of thing?
I can't say it's a high peak right now because obviously, right, like baseball's 162 games, all that stuff, right? And baseball, right, you go hot, you go cold, right? Like there's this whole thing that goes back and forth, right?
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm just kind of excited, right, to look at what's going down in the South Side, right? Just because it's just like they have a bunch of young pitchers, so that's why it's really hard to kind of be like, oh. this is a high peak because they are so young. You know what I mean? But I think right, the most important thing is if they keep that QS up, the quality stars, like it's going to be so important. And I think to kind of answer your question, it's I don't want to say yes, but I think it's a yes only for the fact that it was just so dominant and so random. But I mean, it's baseball again. You can put streaks together, right? You can be able to put, and I think right, the most important thing that helps the White Sox pitching staff, obviously, right, is the continuation of good defense, right? Like if you have good defense behind you as a pitcher, like your ERA and all your, everything's it's going to stay down in the sense of that, right? But
Mm,
you know, so I think that the quality starts will also depend on right the defense behind them. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like the Cubs right now. I mean, look at the Cubs. The infield compared to the White Sox infield, right? Not trying to
really good defense. Yeah,
right crap on any MLB player because they're there. They're in the majors for a reason, right? But like
yeah.
Nico Horner, right? Swatson, Michael Bush, all those guys out there are just playing so well defensively right now, right?
Yeah.
That Dansby looks like Dansby of old. I know it's a small sample size this year, but he's making good contact. He's hitting the ball right. Look at Seiya, for example, right? Like that's also right a pitcher's best friend too, right? It's when you put up bunches of scores, right? Seiya had 2 home runs today. Was it today or was it yesterday? They had 2 home runs.
It was today
It was
and
today,
yesterday.
right? Yeah. So you know
That was
what I
both
mean.
things.
And then Kyle
Yeah.
Tucker right now. I know it's only been a small sample size, but has been as advertised, right? He already has 11 RBIs, 4 home runs, 12
Hmm.
hits. Like it's this is outstanding. I'm happy, but once again, it's I know I'm a Debbie Downer. It's what the Ricketts and Jed Hoyer have done. It's like, oh, look at this new fancy toy. But we still haven't addressed this problem here. So it's like, ah, bullpen's still garbage.
It's, I mean, we're only, what is it, 9 games into the season.
I know.
L let's, they had one slip up, which was to a pretty good team.
Fair.
But I mean, let's give them time. It's barely April. Let's give them the rest of April. I think
I
we
know.
could judge based off of then what happens this next month. Um, Even though the weather is a little crappy, this is kind of what it
True.
is in
Right.
October.
Well,
So
I think you're right because the Padres are coming into town, and I think the Padres have won 7 straight. Was that I saw something like that? They're doing really well or something like that.
I
I
think it
didn't
was
really.
7.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So like I think that going into this weekend series to be our starting series, that's gonna be it's gonna be exciting, right? It's gonna be exciting to kind of see what they can do with the hot team, right? And we know the Padres have the talent, right? So like they have the ability to put up crazy numbers. They have the ability to do all these things. So like it's really kind of exciting for the fact that that's our home opener. Once again,
that's a
this goes
tough home opener. Yeah.
right, and this
There's
goes down. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, they are coming in 7-0. So
Right, right, 7-0, and that's where it's like, okay, here's the bullpen. Like, is it going to falter because we know that the team has a lot of power. They have good pitching too, so there's no slouch. Have they been disappointing ish in the last couple seasons? Sure, you know what I mean. They invested a lot of money in that team, but I think it's a good test for the Cubs as a home opener, right? Homestand, like you play the Dodgers, right? Then you get the Diamondbacks, then you play. You go 2-3 in those first couple series, and then you play the Diamondbacks. Sorry, 2-4. Play Diamondbacks, sweep the Diamondbacks, which is awesome, right? Because I think they needed that. And now you're playing, a pretty hot start to the team. So I think it's good because I think after this they get the Dodgers too, or the next couple series too. So it's like they have a really brutal, opening kind of couple of weeks. So I think if they can weather the storm and get into the divisional kind of games, I think they'll be fine. For the White Sox, I think honestly, just I think I know it sounds so bad, right? But just from last season, you get close, you hover around 70 wins. I think that's a fantastic season for the White Sox, right? I think that whatever it's under like 60 or around 60 wins, I think they might get 10 more than that. I really do. Like I said, I'm not like I said, a big Sox fan per se, but like I think they're not as bad as the A's, man. The A's are just they're a dumpster fire.
I I mean they're a young team. I I think the A's, I know they don't have a stadium right now, but like I don't think their team is horrible. I think we just came in and just whooped their ass is what happened. Our
Yeah, but
hitters,
dude, 18 to
yeah,
3 on Ricky Henderson Day, right? Like celebrating him and you're in opening of this new stadium and Chicago comes in there puts 18 points on you, like 18 runs, like bro,
that is,
like
yeah,
like
that is, yeah,
I saw someone's like, are they trying to you know, what's it called? Honor Henderson and by the amount of runs they're gonna give up, which is 24, which is a jersey number because they were just getting mollywopped. So it's just like
hilarious.
but I know, but I'm excited for baseball season. I know, right? Our meat and potatoes is going to be the off season, but like yeah, like I think baseball is fun. I think when both teams are good in this city, like it actually is fun. Baseball in the time, like I know, football starts pretty much at the end of baseball season, which is nice, but I think when both teams are good, like it's just fun in the summer, and I'm hoping right that White Sox get hot for a little bit, right? I'm hoping the Cubs. We'll see what they do. I mean, they teased me the last couple of years again, so it's just like I gotta be patient and not be a Debbie Downer as you said, but it's going to be hard to not be a
Yeah.
Debbie Downer as of the only bright spot being 2016. So
What do you think about Seiya being a DH now behind Tuck?
I
Is he
think it's fine.
behind or I think he's
I
in front.
think. Like, are you talking about in the batting order?
Yeah, in the batting order.
Oh,
I
well,
think he's
I mean,
ahead of Tucker actually.
yeah, because Kyle Tucker's your cleanup. Kyle Tucker has to be your
Yeah,
format. Like he
yeah.
has to be. Like there's no ands if or buts about it, right? I think and honestly, like Matt Shaw, right? And we're not even talking about the cycle, right? That
Oh, that's right.
right. So like that was just that game was crazy to begin with, but like they have depth and power, and I get it, right? Like they were going for power in the offseason, right? That's why they brought Matt Shaw up as well, for right, and they brought up like Kyle Tucker, and I think being DH for Seiya is going to be so much better for him, only because he doesn't have to worry about. I'm not saying he's a bad right fielder. I'm not saying he's a bad defenseman, but like let PCA, let Hap be out there, let Kyle Tucker be out there, let them do their thing, and bro, you just focus on raking because you were really well, and he's kind of been subpar, right? And we talk about
Yep.
Kyle Tucker, right, having those 4 home runs. Seiya has 4 home runs and 11 RBIs too. So
Hmm.
you have two guys, right, like that. Dansby's finally hitting the ball. 2 home runs, right, 6 RBIs. Like, oh look, he's actually making contact. You know what I mean? So like, I think they have a nice nucleus. It's
Like
once again
they have a lot of nice players around one good player.
right. And Ian
Yeah.
Happ, yes, he's a Gold Glover, this, that, and the other, right? Cole Armstrong is still to be determined. Swatson had a bad season last year, right? I think
Hmm.
so. It's just like we have Kyle Tucker, right? He's a solidified All Star, right? I mean, Ian Happ is getting there. I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, it's can they keep it together, right? Can they just keep it consistent? And the biggest thing is right, which I know this happens because it's the Cubs teams and Cubs always do this. They always go 6 weeks fucking having a slump. They always do. That's what killed them last year, right? In May and the beginning of June. Like it ruined the season. So it's like, can you, right?
When that happens, can you get out of it as
Right.
fast as you can? Yeah.
Right. Can you weather that storm? Because if you don't, it's gonna be a
Hold
complete
on.
issue. No worries.
Hold on. All
Fun. Cool.
right.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. Can they weather the storm of that happening, right? And once again, it's like regression to the mean, right? You get hot a couple months, you don't, right? Like that's just baseball for you. But is that gonna necessarily right do us in again like last year, or is this pitching staff gonna be allowed to get us through that, right? Because if your pitching staff at least carries it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm nervous, right? Like Steele needs to get his head out of his ass, right? I know he was hurt last year and it wasn't the greatest, but like even outside of that, right? Imanaga's gonna be fine. Tyone, yes, needs to be. Ben Brown, I can't argue. He had a good outing, right? He had a decent first outing. Like I'm not gonna sit there and I remember I told you like when you first told me he
You
was
were
our starting
against.
five, I was
Yeah.
against it. Like I
Yeah.
wanted him to start being a long reliever, which I know he was in the past, but it's just like I think he still needs it, but he proved me wrong. You know what I mean? Like he did very well, and I was happy with that. So like Same thing with with Boyd. Boyd did fantastic, right? You know what I mean? He pitched
Yep.
5 innings, zero, ERA. So like that's great, and that's what you need from your 4 or 5 guys, right? Like, but can the consistency of Steele come back with just the same thing with Tyone, right? It's that's the one thing that I'm kind of worried about is it's just like that consistency if our bats go cold, which historically has happened at some point in the season.
hmm Um, I mean that's left to be determined, right? At least our starting five has potential. It's really
Yes.
just our bullpen that, and games like today, is a good. Well, like the last three games, they're kind of good. Like I would say like warm up games for these pitchers for our bullpen, just to like get their feet wet. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, God, what was his name? Who was the guy that blew the lead on Sunday?
Well,
Because he was pitching. He was.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Oh God. But point is, Craig Counsell put him in today, to get his confidence back up. So like, I
Fair.
think, I think our hitting, the bats are gonna have to try to carry. We're gonna have to play small ball with the weather, you know, um, with the weather being so
Fair.
bad over here. But as soon as it gets warm, I kind of expect them to blow it out of the water.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
and it's fair, right? I think they built the team to do that, right, around the batting, right? Like they built a nice core, but I just once again, you're right. It's small ball, right? Like yes, yeah, other than Suzuki, Hap, Tucker, right? Like Swatson, who was a 30 home run guy, like Armstrong, his I don't think he'll Matt Shaw, I think he can rake. Him and Michael Bush, if these guys can rake and that investment pulls back, like that'll be outstanding, right? Like I
hmm
would be so happy with that. And but it just needs to continue to just like you said, like small ball, but and yes, right now in the cold weather, we know it's not going to happen, and we know this is a nice kind of. Wrigley is a tough place to hit, right, because of the wind and the weather and all this stuff, right? Like Tucker played, right. I'm not saying anything against them, but he played it. But he played it, Houston, right? You know what I mean? So like that wasn't as crazy weather per se as Wrigley. Is that going to impact it? I doubt it. I think he's that good of a damn hitter, so I doubt it. But like there is a chance, right? Like we know in those really windy days, the ball doesn't fly, right? Like if you don't hit it at the right spot or if you don't jet stream it out of here, it's not going to do anything. So I think it's interesting to say the least, but I think you're right. Like I think the bats need to carry because unless they make a move in pitching, right? Like I don't
I don't
as being
expect it to change. Yeah.
right as being a Debbie Downer, like it's I don't expect, and I hope they prove me wrong. I hope to God they prove me wrong. You know what I mean? But like I'm itching for Cubs baseball playoffs again. Like it's just it's fun. And I told you this, right? Like baseball is up to me just as football, right? And I know you looked at me like I was crazy saying like that, but
Mhm.
it is right. But yeah, it's exciting times, and it's just and also the thing that I'm worried about the most, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, and I think we're gonna revisit it unless they prove me wrong. Is I hope to God Kyle Tucker is not just a 1 year thing, and they gave up Cam Smith and all that stuff, right? Because if they don't sign him, which he's gonna ask upwards of 400 million to anywhere to 500 million. I really think so.
hmm
You pay the man, man. If he hits you 40 home runs this year and he just breaks and you pay the damn man. Like it's 5, 6 straight seasons of just being one of the best hitters in baseball. But I'm scared they won't open their paybook.
I mean, we're 9 games in, and you can already tell, like, you have to pay the man now. So, like,
Right.
I hope they do, because that's just, man, he's a championship piece. Like, he's a blue chip. You got to keep adding those guys. You can't let them walk, and especially not if you let, it was like three assets go, right? It was like three guys, three for one trade. Yeah, come on. Like,
Right.
hope hopefully the Ricketts aren't
Mm.
cheap with that.
And they keep talking about money, this, money that. No, y'all have the money. Like stop it. You're riding on 2016, and us Cubs fans are done with that crap. Like it
They
was
definitely
nice.
have. They definitely have money. They keep
It
adding
was
to the
nice.
stadium.
I know. That's my thing. Right now they added the sports. Then they added the FanDuel sport, whatever that was, the sports betting like that's
Yeah.
extension. Like, come on, you know what I mean? So like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's just like, 2016 is gonna stop at some point. Like, yeah, and we made right. We made I think the NLCS the year afterwards against the Dodgers again, right? Or whatever it was, right? Like, solid 4 to 5 years. But it's like that's okay. Look at the Dodgers. They're a perennial damn all-star team every single year, and they're
Yeah. In the
playoff
playoffs every year.
every
Yeah.
year. It's just like same thing with the Yankees. I know they had a down spell for a couple of years, but the same thing with the Yankees, right? So it's just like you have the money to spend it, please
Hmm.
spend it. Which right goes into our other team of the Bears opening up their paycheck and
Let's
deciding to actually be something for once.
let's go.
You know what I mean? And I think,
Oh yeah.
which I know is obviously going to be our meat of our discussion today, but like I did not see, like obviously like I told you Drew Dahlman, like I knew that was gonna pursue, but what boggled my mind was him turning down more money to actually work with Ben Johnson, which
I
is
that is the Ben Johnson effect.
right,
Like
right,
and and not just that, like I mean I'm pretty sure everybody saw the quarterback and was like, well, especially Drew compared
right.
to Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, he's probably thought, hey, this looks like
Also
fun.
true. Also
Yeah.
true, right? Because at this point, right, like the Kirk Cousins experiment did not work. And I think from what I'm hearing, right, I think they're gonna release him in the offseason because they're gonna save a crap ton of money, I believe so.
Hmm.
So yeah, that makes, I know he's gonna be a second year, but it puts the rookie Michael Penix back in there, right? And it's like, well, do I want to sit there and be there for the rebuild, right? Do I want to sit there or go to a place, granted, that is in a soft slash I don't know what they call it now, rebuild the Bears, whatever the hell they're discussing, right?
Soft
And
rebuild or something like
right,
that. Yeah.
and go there and play with right. Also, yeah, Joan Thuney and Jonah Jackson, right? So it's just like that was absolutely amazing because yeah, now you have your guard, you got your guards, you got Dahlman, you got your right tackle. Now it's Braxton Jones, right? Like, is he gonna be the starting guy, or are they going to draft right Will Campbell, which is what I mentioned how long in our first episode, second episode, right? Which honestly, as much as right, Aston Gensy's coming up, and I'm glad we can have this conversation now because before we can sit there and be like, oh, like they got to draft a lineman. It's like, oh, well, do they necessarily have to draft a lineman? The answer I
I
think is yes because you got to build depth.
yeah.
Like you got to
That's
build depth,
that's my argument. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
I
like it's so tempting with Genty there or just anybody, right? Like just like these
but
crazy like blue chips player.
what do you do with Swift though at that point? Like, because that's like a lightning 1-2 punch. Because it's not really a
Right. And
like a
and if we
yeah.
remember right, when Ben Johnson took over to Detroit as OC, he shipped Swift's ass out right away. So
So do
like
we have? Hmm, I think it's 2 years left on his contract
and it's a
with
small
like,
contract, so I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him away for like a sixth rounder.
geez. I mean, I I understand why we would. I think that was one of the players that I thought wouldn't be on the team too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, man. I just want more depth at on the O line, D line, just in case, because injuries happen. And
Agreed.
like last year, we were struggling with all the injury. Te Tevin Jenkins was out like every other week, so we were
Which
just like,
I'm so happy they didn't bring him back. Even though you know how I feel about Jenkins. I think he's a fantastic player when healthy. That man is he
oh yeah,
moves the ball.
he's like a
Yeah.
top 50-30 guard in the
He,
league,
he's
right?
he's 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 good when he's healthy, but man, he cannot stay effing healthy for his damn life. Like it is just absolutely brutal and it's absolutely frustrating that he can't. And it's like, yeah, it's sad to see him go. And I know the Browns didn't give him anything. I know they barely paid him, but it's just like, save money. And obviously, right, I know there's not a lot of guards or stuff like that, the second or third wave of free agency, right? But like there's still some people out there I think they can add for depth, right? If right, they don't take
If
a
they need to.
Campbell,
Yeah.
right? The Campbell or Banks, right, at 10. You know what I mean? But I know I whispered to this, I think you when we were in Mexico last week. I was just like, trade 10 for, the defensive guy in Cincinnati, right? Like, why don't we just trade 10 for that, right? But I know you look at him, he's 30, 31. Like, is it worth trading a 10 piece for that, right? And I think the answer is no, even though like I want it, right? Like it's
You're
just
basically trading either Will Campbell, Ashton Genty, um, I don't know, like Tyler Warren if he's there. Um, who's the other? There's another defensive guy, I think, or another O lineman. There's a couple of
um
guys
yeah, there's a couple guys there, right? That you're pretty much trading away like, an
that for a
entire
third.
career.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm still of the belief that you add depth as much as you can, and
Hmm.
I was looking at their signings. They have Doug Kramer on a 1 year contract, so he's back. Um,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that's another added piece to the old line room. Um, we have Alameda Zaccheaus.
I was
Um,
about to ask you that. Like, how do you feel about that? Granted, right? I think his work size and speaks for him. Like he is a pretty decent third wide receiver because that's what he's going to be. Which I think speaks to me. Which what you and I have talked about. Like I don't think Keenan's coming back. I I,
no,
I don't think Keenan's coming back officially. So what I mean. So you obviously you have a Rome. You got DJ, and you need a third, right? And then
yeah,
unfortunately, right, Tyler Scott hasn't gotten any like which I that whole thing upset me because I think Tyler Scott had the potential, but I think Zacchaeus adds a little bit more speed and flair. And obviously, right, what does Ben Johnson want? Speed, right?
that's yeah, that's his whole thing. Like, I actually I picture Zaccheaus playing the oh God, what's his name in Detroit? Why am I blanking right now?
Is it Jameson
James,
Williams?
James, yeah, he's playing the JMO role
I can see
in
that 100%. Yeah,
in this offense. Yeah.
I can see that.
Um, and I think he's gonna be more of like yeah, just like either take the safety away kind of guy. Like he's a threat. Yeah, he's a real threat. And it's not
Yeah,
like he's got some real like ball skills too. What is he? He's I mean he's kind of short, but I mean like I said, his speed
yeah.
is oh my God. He can
It
run.
is right, right. So like, I think you're right. I think he does the JMO right kind of effect here, right? And then
What's crazy is I don't think people realize that Rome has that kind of speed too. And Cole Kmet isn't actually DJ too. DJ's got some speed on him too, but his is
no,
more
yeah,
like yak kind of
right, right.
speed.
But they have the speed, right? So that's why, as much as Swift is elusive, that's why I'm like, I keep going back to this Genty at play at 10. And right, and my thing is like, okay, yes, do we want to build for longevity? Sure, but like, if a once in a lifetime player that he's supposed to be is there, like, and you have Ben Johnson, right, who wants to be run heavy, not run heavy, but speed, right, with Jameer Gibbs. I keep going back to them. People laughing at Jameer Gibbs at 12, right, for Detroit. Ha ha ha. Well, ha ha ha
They
to your faces. Like,
it paid off for them.
right,
It
right.
it
So it's
really
like,
did.
do you take that shot with a revamped offensive line, right, in the sense of signings? Because you do have, right, another, what, they have another, what, two, three picks, right? And they have two second
Have
rounders and a
another
third rounder, right?
yeah. They have three top 100 picks.
Right. So, like,
So you got
if
two second rounders.
correct. So if you take the Genti at 10, then you can get an offensive lineman, right? Double offensive lineman in the second and third rounds, right? Granted, yes,
Hmm.
there is a deep running back class this year, right? And we talked about, I think, which I can also be okay with if he's there at the second round, right? Is you take Judkins from OSU.
But I'm still of the belief that like even though it's like a deep running back class,
Sure.
like you want to take the best one. If the best one is there, like
Right, and that's
what
what
are we
I'm
doing?
saying.
You know, like
Right, that's what I'm saying. So like it's interesting, right? Like they did it's promising because now the offense looks like, oh, wait a minute, there actually may be some function and order, right?
Yeah. I actually have a I and I heard this the other day. So the contracts they're um for Drew Dahlman, I think Jonah Jackson as well. They're 3-year deals. And guess whose contract is up at the 3-year mark?
Oh, it's Caleb's, yeah,
It's
yeah,
Caleb's. So
yeah, yeah.
they're all like lined up perfectly. I think they know like I like the way that they structured themselves, like they're
Sure.
protecting themselves in the event that Caleb doesn't work out. But if he does, it's like,
Right. If
you
this
know,
whole experiment doesn't work out, then it's like, well, guess what? Like, well, the offensive line and the quarterback goes and we rebuild from scratch again.
yeah, exactly.
Which I also hate because it's setting us up for failure too. Because that's just my pessimistic brain being my pessimistic brain, right? But I think yeah, it's interesting, right? Because right, Darnell Wright, I think I think he has 2 years left, right? So
He's
like
got 2 years.
with I think the option, which I think at this point, if he has one more good season, you option him regardless because he's been an unsung hero on that
Yeah.
offensive line, right?
Braxton has to get paid either this year or next year, I think. I think
I
this is
don't
his
think
final year.
I don't see unless he has a freaking Pro Bowl season. I don't think he gets re-signed. I like him, but I just don't. I just don't. I haven't seen enough there from him. Like he's a good work in progress. Like maybe right in 2 3 years he would be that payoff, but like it's it's not
I
there.
I think like I've said before, I think Braxton's like a swing tackle. Um I think that's why I think you need more depth. So you have Braxton
Right.
as a swing and then, you know, whoever it Will Campbell as your starting left tackle. But like that'd
Right.
be that's a killer offensive line in my opinion. That
It's better. It's better than we have in the last like X amount of years, right? Let's be honest there. But I think it's just yeah, it's just and I think I don't think we're gonna have an issue right with any of them meshing together, right? Like John Thuney is a four-time Super Bowl champion, right? Like he is so good, right? And I
mm-hmm.
think is putting him next to Dahlman, who also has been great. Like and let's not sit there and be like, oh, Drew Dahlman played. Yeah, like they've had to let up holes in Bijan. Bijan is explosive, right? You have to open up those holes and swing. Same thing. So like he knows it. Jonah Jackson, yes, he wasn't the greatest for right the Rams, right? Because he was supposed to be this big sought out thing, a free agent, and they let him go, I think, a year after signing him. But look at him in Detroit. Like I think these guys have great track records. I think the best thing, which goes back into right, like you said, the Ben Johnson effect, is he has a path, he has a
Yeah.
vision, and I think that's great. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, in my opinion, on the opposite side of the ball too, right? Right. The
Mhm.
biggest thing being getting Grady Jarrett, that was just
Oh,
bonkers. Out of
that
I
was
sat there, I was just like, did I read that right? We did not just get him right,
we got him.
and I think at first I sat there, I'm like, he's on the older side, but then I realized he only played about, I think, around 65% of the snaps in Atlanta. You do the same thing there with the Bears, right? Like you're gonna be great, and that was just a great signing. And obviously, I don't want to butcher the other guy's name because I'm gonna butcher the crap out of it, right?
Oh, from the Colts.
But Deo, right? Like I know
Yeah.
people were just like, "Ooh, it's kind of weird." His contract's kind of like what's it called? I think Josh Sweat was only paid an extra $4 million, right? I think with the Cardinals. But like my thing is, Dennis Allen likes big, big, big edge rushers, and I think Deo is a couple inches taller than Sweat and like 50 pounds heavier.
Yeah. He's
So
a
I go ahead.
he's definitely a scheme type of signing. Like he's just a prototype that fits the scheme that Dennis Allen wants to run. And
Right, right.
yeah, and actually, I wanted to go back to Grady Jarrett real quick.
No, go ahead, of
Since
course.
yeah, Grady Jarrett, um, he's got a 3-year contract. Same thing, right? Like lines up with Caleb. But what do you think? Because Dexter, oh my God, what was his name? Dexter. There's two guys on the interior that have kind of that had promise, but they've kind of been struggling. What was his name? Dexter,
Javon Dexter and
Devon Dexter,
yeah, and I forgot the other
and
guy, right?
Billings. Was it Billings?
No, Billings was fine until he got hurt last year.
but he's interior, right? So like,
Oh, true.
who's who do you think is gonna have to take a seat? I'm thinking it's probably Javon Dexter and Billings and Grady Jarrett are starting on the O line. I mean, on the D
Yeah,
line.
I think so, but I think once again, I think Garrett is he's not gonna pay every single snap. He's gonna pay 60, 65 snaps the most.
Do
Right.
you
I
think he's
think
more of like a third down,
he's definitely going to be a
fourth quarter?
third down, fourth quarter machine. But you know what I mean. But I think that interior line, yeah, and I think that's why like going back 10 it could be a defensive player right at the line, right? Like yes,
Mm-hmm.
you have right Montez Sweat, you have right Garrett, you have Dale, right? Like, but Dale, we have to see more from him. Like, I don't know what to expect from him. Like, I've seen his body of work at the Colts. I like it, but like, I gotta see it, right? But my thing at the end of the day is like, I trust Dennis Allen. Like, I know he was the the coach and it wasn't the best, right? But like, he's same thing kind of with Eberflus. He's a damn good defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like, I think you give him those pieces, you get to build around it. Like he gets to work with all these guys, right? Especially with Montez Sweat, and you know, and Billings was great before he got his injury. Like he was the big guy in the middle of the freaking interior lineman, so he has to be a starter. Him and Sweat ate, right? And when Billings was there, right, the run game was the running defense was pretty solid.
Billings
You
was
know what I
really
mean?
good. Yeah,
Right?
Billings
Billings
was
was
really good.
fantastic, but you
But
know, but
yeah, no, Javon Dexter has just been he hasn't really progressed as
he
kind
hasn't.
of what we wanted him to.
You know, so
But
I'm hoping in right bringing great, Jared Grady in, and what I think I mentioned last episode, or in passing with you, is Dennis Allen sent all those guys to like a camp down. I think it was in Tampa or whatever in Florida, right, to work on their
mm,
techniques and their stuff like that. Even Austin Booker was there, right? So I think there is depth, there is potential, but it's just like, dude, like you're right, like we know that the games are won in the trenches, and yeah, you signed Deo, which we don't know how he's going to be. We signed Grady Jarrett, right, who is older, right, in his
he's a
thirties,
little older.
but
Yeah,
right, but is a hell of a player. So it's like, where's the youth in there, right? And yes, I know it's Billings, and but Montez Sweat's getting up there too. So it's just like,
Austin Booker. Yeah, like
right, these guys that Poles drafted aren't really paying dividends just yet, right?
yeah,
We talked about Kyler
they're
Gordon, right? Like he's been fine, but like those guys,
mm, yeah. Speaking of like the DBs, I saw something on Twitter earlier that said the Bears were talking to safeties. So I think I think they
oh,
are going to try to draft a safety as far as like,
well, yeah. I
you
mean, it
know,
makes
because
sense.
yeah, because we need another option because God, why am I drawing blanks today? Um,
Jaquan Brisker has not been it.
Jaquan, yeah, Jaquan Brisker. Jeez, he's not. He's been hurt. He's been hurt. At least he's missed more than like two games the last three seasons.
Well, I mean, we
And
talked about this, right? I think last episode too. He was gone for how long this season? And I get it; it was a head injury. Like it could
he's
have been
gone
a
since
pretty
like
big,
week six or something like that. Yeah, like
right? So it's just like, yeah, you got to do something with that. You got to do something with that. Like that position because it is important, right? And yes, while Jaquan is healthy, he's fantastic. You know what I mean? While Brisker is healthy, he's great. He likes to stuff the box, but it's like, did we bring back Jonathan Owens?
we
I
actually let
don't
me
think we
see.
did we? I don't
I
believe
didn't
so.
see that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bill
So because
Murray,
obviously
Chris Williams.
you
Yeah.
have Kevin Byard back there, right? Like that's fine, but like you're right. Like you need a safety that's durable, especially in this league, right?
Yeah.
Especially being a passing league. So like, yeah, do you draft? Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want a safety at 10,
hmm
but I can see them
No, we're
sitting
not
in the
getting
later
not at
rounds.
10. But like day three, three rounds three through four, three through seven. Like you
Right,
might
right.
we'll probably see it either that.
Hmm.
It's definitely gonna be a ball hawking safety because I'm thinking
I
Dennis
think so,
Allen
really.
yeah, because I'm thinking Dennis Allen probably wants his own Tyrann Mathieu back there. Because
Mm, true.
Kevin Byard Kevin Byard's a little older, but I mean he could
Yeah,
still jump in the box. Like
right,
he's not
right.
afraid to make a tackle. Not like Eddie Jackson, dude.
Yeah, Eddie Jackson. Yeah, that's not got the head. He had so much
Yeah,
potential. He got paid in anywho.
he did.
Passes the passes the past, right? Passes the past.
Past
Um,
is the path.
but
Yeah.
I like that also that Nick McLeod signing. I know he's a little bit older too, but like he good piece, right? Because you have Kyler Gordon, right? As your starting guy, right? And you have Stevenson on their side, and it's nice to kind of have him, right? Play the nickel possibly or just back up one of those guys because
Hmm.
Kyler when healthy also is a fantastic player, but has had some injuries here and there, right? But I think that's it's a really cool signing to kind of have, right? That Nick McLeod, right? Because he also brings a lot of right experience on a very good Niners defense. Like
Hmm.
he wasn't like a joke, right? Like he was a pretty everyday starter, right?
He was a starter. Yeah, he was a really good starter for them. I think, well, yeah, he's a depth piece for us, and for whenever Kyler goes down, or you know, God forbid that happens, because that would suck.
Yeah,
Um,
it would be atrocious yet again.
we also got Devin Duvernay. I think he's a punt and kick returner, right? I
I
thought.
believe so. I believe so. Which mean does that mean they're not bringing back the other guy then that was a returner this year?
God, what was his name? Probably not.
Yeah,
That's my, yeah.
I know like he was a kind of and he filled in for as a receiver for a little bit, right? All that stuff, but like yeah, I think the Devin Duvernay I think is nice because it is a returner, right?
Mhm. He was signed as a wide receiver though,
Yes,
so
right.
he could play a role in the offense. Same thing as like the JMO role. That's what I'm
Cool, yeah,
thinking.
true. Um, but that is an interesting signing, which also begs the question like, do you also draft possibly a receiver in the second round?
Oh, I can't do that.
I
I
I,
wouldn't
I
do it.
I mean, listen, you got DJ in Rome, right? Granted, right? Obviously, we don't know if Keenan's going to be back or not, but like, is Zacchaeus going to be a good third, right? Who's are
Mm,
going to be our solid third, right? Like, if some guy
You
slips there, they're supposed to be a number one, you know, number one round, pick in the first round. Sorry, like, do you take that ability, that shot, and be like, screw it, let's just drive a receiver here, right? I granted, right? I know it's reaching. I rather spend that on more valuable assets, but
hmm
I think the right thing here is the Ben Johnson effect. We go back to like I don't know which way. Like he's showing you what he wants, right, to protect Caleb with speed, but like if there's guys right that are speedy on the offense, they're like, do you take them right over these other needs, right? And it's like it's exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, please don't mess it up.
Kind of a risky pick. I get it. I just I don't know. It's kind of a high pick for a wide receiver. If we take one in like the fifth, sixth round, like as a project kind of thing, um,
Sure,
I'd be
maybe,
I'd be more open to that. But we do
maybe,
have like we still have Tyler Scott, like what if Ben Johnson could get the most out of him? Or, I don't know. Like
maybe,
we
maybe.
we have we have young options, I think.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. I agree. But yeah, but it's a really exciting thing, right? But I think just also touching on just our division as well. Um, what the F with Minnesota just being like, here's all of our money, just take it with all these defensive signings. Like
oh
it,
my God.
it
Hmm.
literally just tells me, right? Because right, like they brought right in Byron Murphy, they brought in Hargraves, they brought Jonathan Allen in. I'm just like, what are y'all doing here? Which proves to me, I think they're gonna go with JJ is the starter, and I think they're going to bank on just defense until he develops. I really, because I'm sitting there, I'm almost like, okay, they re-signed Aaron Jones, good, nice little piece there. You still got right, you still
Hmm.
got Justin Jefferson over there, but it's just like, yo, this
Jordan
which
Addison too.
Jordan Addison, which I think does that mean right in the draft they're only going to go offense? I'm not saying it's going to happen per se, but like that's a crazy
Mm.
amount of defensive signings. Like that is insane. Like
Yeah, yeah, they went crazy. I thought the Javon Hargrave one was a really good signing though. Like it's scary.
right? 2 years and 19 million. And the worst part of it is we have to play them twice this year. Like, okay, cool. We got our offensive line. Minnesota's like, well, here you put you back in check.
Yep. They
Like, here
just
you
got
go.
better. We thought we got better. Nope. They did too.
Right,
Gee.
right, right.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going all in on JJ now that he's well, the fact that he's young, he's on his rookie contract. I'm I'm assuming that it sounds like just based off what they did, that they
Hmm.
saw something in practice or they saw his development, and they feel really confident about it, right? Like I think they think that they can really make a run right now.
Sure.
Um, and I can see them, competing for the division, but I mean, I don't know, like
I mean,
they still gotta go through.
are we still putting Detroit as the team to beat in this division?
I am,
Or really?
yeah. I'm
I
putting them
get
until someone dethrones them
sure,
because they
I get that, but like, how is that offense going to click without their mind? And I get it, right? Some people are great and they're going to bounce back fine, but like, yo,
mm,
if the Detroit's defense goes down, which it was, right? And I know they signed what four corners this offseason. Well, they re-signed one, but they signed,
hmm
Rocky Sin, DJ Reed, right? Avante Maddox. They signed
hmm
all these guys. They signed some, other defensive players. But my thing is just like, okay, and you re-signed, right? Like Dan Skipper, congratulations. But like, dude, your defense goes down again. Can that offense do what they did right with Ben Johnson as their OC? I don't know, right? And I know I'm much hairs to say this, but like I think Green Bay is the team to beat, right? As much
You
as I
think
hate,
so?
I think so. They're a well-rounded team, man. Like, and I think
They
right.
don't. I No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
I'll
was
let
just
you know.
saying, like signing Nate Dobbs, great for that defensive stuff because I do think right. Unless it already happened, I think Jair might be gone someplace at some point because I think he's just. I don't think they're gonna re-sign him, right? But I think if you really look at it, right, I know Detroit's the team to beat. I know Minnesota had just a great season, but like I don't think Detroit's to beat. Okay, maybe I don't put Green Bay. I think Minnesota still has the edge over Detroit now.
I I as much as I don't know. I can't see Minnesota being better than Detroit right now. They probably just look good on paper, but I don't know. I saw what Detroit's defense was doing when they were healthy last year, and they
Mm-hmm.
were really good. I think they've just had the injury bug kind of plague them a bit.
Agreed. Agreed.
Um, and I think the offense still has like there'll be it's gonna have that little bit of juice left from the previous year. So
True. True.
we'll see how far that takes them. As far as like Green Bay, uh they still don't have a one, man. Like I think that's why I don't believe in them.
Sure. 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 And yeah, I know they signed Hardman too, right? But like, yeah, like
The speed
sure.
option or kick
Sure.
punt returner, maybe.
Right. So I do think right. I think in the draft, I think no matter what their pick is, I think they're going to take a receiver one. I believe so.
Hmm
Right. But like yeah, like, and then obviously right, where do I put us in this division after the offseason, right? Like obviously we still have the draft. We still have some other things that could happen possibly, right? Injuries and stuff like. It's a tough division, right? If it was like exactly like it was last year, right? Like all three teams of our division made the playoffs, right? And we stood
hmm
out there, right? Granted, yes, we fell flat on our faces, but like do I think the Bears at this current moment have what it takes to surpass some of these teams? I do. I do.
hmm
And I know people are up north are going to be like, oh, or some of our friends are going to be like, no, they're not. I think they have a chance to surpass the Packers. Not easily, but I think they have a chance to surpass the Packers. Like they're, in my opinion, pretty similar teams across the
hmm
board. And now that the Bears have a offensive headed minded coach, you know what I mean? And go back to last year, right? Like, okay, people could be like, "Oh, you beat Malik Willis in Lambeau." Okay, like y'all needed a block field goal to beat us in
The
Soldier Field with everybody.
the defense was they were playing the same defense as they were a
Right,
couple weeks back. Like it was the
right.
same guys. Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? So like, and those games were both close, both on field goals. So it's like we already played y'all close with a crappy season last year, right? And So I do think right they can have a chance with these signings if they stay healthy to surpass the Packers.
Mhm.
Do I think they have a chance to surpass Detroit and Minnesota? I think Minnesota,
I
yes.
They're closer to
Detroit, not.
Minnesota than Detroit for sure.
I would agree on that fact. I think until now, right, Detroit is still that team to beat. Um, but I think that like if they can keep up with Minnesota, right? But my thing is, and I know you're gonna sound crazy because I might sound like a Debbie Downer. If Minnesota wins another 13 games, can the Bears win 13 games? I just don't know. I just don't know if they
That
can.
means Yeah, that means Green Bay would have to be the one, would probably be the bottom of the barrel of
Right.
the
Which
division.
means like a 7-win, 8-win team. I think they're a 10-win team. So like
Yeah.
it's like while we did all these signings, I sat there, I was like, great. Like and also right, we're just Bears fans and we just have bad luck against Green Bay because I don't know, just I don't know,
We
God
had
just
good
gives us
luck
this.
this year, so
I
hey,
agree. I agree, right? But
you
like
never know.
it's just interesting. Like I was super excited, right, for this episode. It's like I'm super excited being like, yeah, like and once again, the word hope is thrown around. As a Bears fan, that's all we can do is hope, right? Until we can see some consistency, right?
Mm.
But the sure as hell giving us better hope. And I don't know if you saw, was it yesterday or day before, Kevin Warren pretty much saying like, yeah, like stuff in Arlington is picking up steam. So like, are they gonna get their new stadium, right? Which it sucks because as a suburbanite being from Skokie most of my life, that's kind of cool. But like, I love the team on the lakefront, and I'm not talking about the weather purposes. I'm not talking about all that crap. It's just they belong on that lakefront, and unfortunately, it just sucks that the city couldn't really just get out of their own way because
Politics, like that.
right, right,
That's all. I don't know. That's all stuff. I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt. They tried. It's not like they just, took the Arlington deal and just, you know,
right,
ran
right,
with that.
right.
Like,
Which goes into our last thing for today, right? Being like summertime shy, right? If for example the Bears were to leave, right? So those
mm,
last couple of months and weeks of summer, what do you do, right? Obviously, right, being living in Skokie my entire life, like I'm just starting to enjoy summertime shine more since I've been almost 2 year residents in Chicago now. Um, but man, I think some of my funnest favorite things to do recently is like go to all the few like free music festivals they have around. I think last year, I don't know if you were with us. I went with with your cousin and her family went to the house music festival.
mm.
And that was so fun. It was just, the city hosted it and it was a good time. You know what I mean? So like fun times
That
being those.
that one was Millennium Park, right?
Yes, it was
Where
Millennium
that one
Park.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
really fun. Um, Keeping it true to our to our theme here, go experience a Cubs and Sox game. Like go, like they're both just fun, right? Like go to a bleacher specifically in a Cubs game. You know what I mean? Those that's it's a fun
Oh,
experience,
that's
especially
yeah.
especially if they're good in the middle of June and July. Go right, and also just go to the Sox stadium because they just have really good food and the vibe's
Yeah.
fun too. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So those are a lot of my favorite things to kind of do, right?
Yeah. I I've kind of expanded it a little bit,
Okay,
you know. Maybe that's just because I'm a little closer to the city. Well, I know you
true.
just moved recently,
Right, right.
right? But um she's a friend who he started the kayaking on the river.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, I've seen it.
like I used to do that. I did that a couple times. Yeah, that's actually really cool, man, because
Oh,
you're
nice.
going up and down the river just on your little kayak. You get to see the architecture. It's beautiful, right? Especially
That's
on
cool.
like a warm summer day. Um, going to Oak Street Beach to go jump in the lake. I know it's a
Mm-hmm.
little cold and I would still say it's not that clean, but I mean it's still
Sure.
kind of it's not
Sure.
that
Sure.
dirty.
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah. Um and then there's a couple good restaurants around there, right? Like I think it's called uh Oak Street Beach Restaurant or something like that. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you've seen
Mm-hmm.
that.
No, I
Um
haven't seen it actually.
so
No.
like yeah. They got really good margaritas there.
Oh, nice.
So
But no, I
yeah,
think I think those are some cool things. I think some things that I also write is like the museums are always fun. I know it's kind of a
museums.
boring answer, but that's those are so fun to do.
No,
I
yeah,
think
the
also
Illusion
something.
Museum. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, that
a
one's cool. It was the
yeah.
one museum that I like. That's not one of the bigger ones. Is like the Torture Museum. I'm weird into that stuff, like the medieval crap, right? So like that was a weird one. Don't go there if you don't like torture and like. There's not real blood, but like they do like the demonstrations and like of those things are kind of cool. But also just having the like dinner at like a really nice restaurant like on the lake. I mean, sorry, on the lake on the river. Like I think
hmm
just going to stay out there like a bunch of stuff and just enjoying like Chicago air. I think something also too that is one thing I might do for my birthday again this year coming up is going to like the Guinness Brewery. Like that place is really fun to go to. Like it's when it's nice
Nice.
outside.
Yeah.
So I think just experiencing the Chicago because as much as right like we are kind of diverse in little areas, pockets, right? Like the food game is awesome. So like experiencing food and going just walking down streets and being like, well, let's just try this restaurant. I think is just really really fun to do as well.
Yeah. No, yeah. The benefit of that is at least you know where to go
Right.
for
True.
the foods that you want. So,
True. 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 True.
but I completely agree. Like summertime shy is something like no other. Like,
It really, really is. It
yeah.
really is.
It it's ranked Chicago is ranked best city in the world for a reason, and I
I
think
I
that's
still
the
don't
reason.
understand how we are the best city in the world. Maybe it's just because we live here, and
Yeah.
we were just like, I don't know about that. But yeah, it is. Summertime Shy is a vibe. You know what I mean? And I think it's really if you haven't done anything on the lake or just one of those free festivals, just kind of doing what you were kind of saying with the kayaks, right? Like
hmm
also, I think something that's really fun to do. I think that you mentioned that you did, right? I don't think I've done it, but something like those architecture cruises. So like,
Oh
think
yeah.
it's so fun to do. I haven't done it yet, but like, just getting on the river, right, and getting out. And I think the beaches, like, they get packed, but there's so many beaches, right? Like, you don't have to go to one specific one, right? Like, obviously,
hmm
Oak Street's a pretty popular one per se, but like, there are other ones out there that are kind of fun, and just going out there and just being on the beach is just a good time when we're stuck in here for 5 months of winter and coldness and just
It's
sadness.
I agree. Yeah. Take advantage while you can when it's
Right.
warm.
I agree. I agree. Cool. But yeah,
All
we'll
right.
wrap up for our episode today. Thanks for joining us again. And until next time, y'all have a good one.
Bye guys.
Bye bye. All right.